Coming to the parvocellular pathway, so you see the midget ganglia from cones giving rise to the parvocellular ganglionic pathway, which goes to the lateral geniculate body and distributes its component to the layer 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. And also fibers arising from the lateral geniculate body, the geniculocalcarine fiber or the geniculostriatal fiber, which is from the lateral geniculate body to the striate cortex or to the area around the calcarine fissure or to Brodmann area 17 or to the primary visual cortex. Same thing. So they are also carrying the sensation as if a labeled line is continuing. So what they are carrying? So we can see the parvocellular pathway contributing from the ipsilateral side to the 3rd and the 5th layer, and from the contralateral side to the 4th and the 6th layer. Further down, they will be carried as optic radiation. So the optic radiation is also having fibers which are designated as M lateral geniculate nuclei. That is, they are a continuation of the magnacellular pathway, and P lateral geniculate nuclei pathway, which is a continuation of the parvocellular lateral geniculate nuclei or lateral parvocellular pathway. What do they carry? They carry the same information as like before. This magnacellular will carry very fast information. They are very fast in transmission of information, and they carry the perception of beam light, and they also help in the detection of movement at the periphery. What do parvocellular pathway carry? Right from the cone still up to the primary visual cortex, they will carry the essence of bright light vision. They have very accurate vision. They will carry form, and they will carry the ability to perceive color. So they come and they contribute to the primary visual cortex. Now, what we need to know next is how the primary visual cortex starts to reconstruct the visual world, the external visual world. What the external visual world falls on our retina as a small three-dimensional imagery. And what do these photoreceptors carry? The photoreceptors have the ability to convey only so much. What do they convey? The rod will be conveying the absence or presence of light. The cones will be conveying, along with absence and presence of light, the various spectrum of light that is present, that is coming and falling on the retina. The cones being very concentrated in a given area will give a very good representation or a very good pinpoint, accurate assessment of the external world. So, and also because of the point-to-point distribution of the receptor, which is reflected in the retinotropic distribution of the bipolar cell, the ganglion cell, and also the cells of the lateral geniculate body and the neurons which lead from the lateral geniculate body fill up to the cortex. So there is retinotropic map everywhere. So the label line also provides the appreciation of the external world in a very accurate fashion. So these are the few things which are carried by the optic nerve, the optic tract and the optic radiation to the primary visual cortex. Now the primary visual cortex is interestingly divided in many ways. The first division that we can appreciate is it has ocular dominance. Means that the primary visual cortex is seen to have a ipsilateral and a contralateral strip, ipsilateral and contralateral, ipsilateral, contralateral. So the primary visual cortex is divided into ipsilateral and contralateral strips. So even here, visual signal from two eyes do not mix. So you have ocular dominance, ipsilateral dominance in a strip, contralateral dominance in another. Ipsilateral in the next strip, contralateral dominance in another. There are other divisions also. What are the other divisions? Let's look into it. First and foremost, we have this distribution of ipsilateral and contralateral dominance. So let us see a strip of the visual cortex. So this is contralateral dominant area. Let's draw another. Ipsilateral dominant area. Of course, in the solid